There are many countries that benefit from the prosperity of financial transactions as a result of the huge development in the fields of computing, information technology, and communications around the world. What about Yemen? What do we need to get there? Vision? Inspiration? Initiative? Or a superhero? To try to answer all these questions, join us in this presentation, which will focus on the most prominent features of the current payment system in Yemen and the vision of a national payment system inspired by the Indian experience. Finally, we will give you some suggestions for implementing this system within the framework of the Central Bank Initiative. First, let's briefly go over the current situation of the payment system in Yemen. Cash and checks. Cash controls financial transactions despite its scarcity. Checks are used to pay large sums and still follow traditional methods. Cards payment is one of the most important means of payment, but they are currently suspended in points of sales due to the preference of traders to deal with cash. Local, intercountry, remittance networks. Exchange companies have dominated local, intercountry, remittance market due to the lack of local banks providing services, lack of regulatory and legal standards, and most importantly, the lack of a unified payment platform. Banks' international wire transfers. Here, the great dependence on exchange companies is evident. Despite some banks have resumed wire transfers and letter of credit services, it is still limited. Companies that play the role of the national switch. The services of Yemen Financial Services Company, YFS, which is supposed to play the role of the national switch that links ATMs and POSs and making instant payments, have been terminated. After a strategic partner joined the company, it faced reluctance from banks to integrate with it and still faces difficulties in providing immediate transfers between banks. E-wallet services. This service suffers from the lack of a clear vision for the most suitable model. Despite the presence of wallets owned by banks and the issuance of licenses to other financial institutions, the acceptance of them is still weak, and this is due to the lack of a unified system that connects all the wallets with each other or with banks. As a result, the service appears to be incomplete and does not meet all needs. Local currency price gaps across areas of control. The printing of the new currency notes and the large price difference between some Yemeni areas have led to a real problem in the payment system, remittances, and bank deposits. Electronic settlement and clearing systems. There are no ACH and RTGS systems. Hence, the importance of working to develop the financial infrastructure systems, such as the system of credit and national payments, which will work to enhance the banking system and strengthen the Central Bank of Yemen's supervisory role. In order for the systems to work properly, a very advanced supervision and regulatory framework must be developed. So, what is the National Payment System, NPS? It is the comprehensive framework that governs the payments and covers all the steps of payment processes and the participating parties. In the process of developing this system, there is no specific recipe that can be used, but we can start by answering the following questions. Who should participate and initiate the process? What are the priorities to invest in? What are the required infrastructure and institutional arrangements that support it? It can be said that the process of developing this system is complicated, and it must be built on the basis of needs, not technology, as it depends on the parallel development of the banking system, the institutional arrangements for the payment services, and the infrastructure for payments. As for the main contributor to the payment system, it is the Central Bank of Yemen, which will play a number of key roles. The establishment and development of the system, supervision of the basic arrangements, the operation of the system, and the management of its services and users. But before that, the central bank must clearly define its goals and policies, and play an active developmental and motivational role so that the system is effectively operated by all parties with a common goal. It is also important to provide a working environment that matches these goals and policies positively. For every successful experience, there is an inspiration source, and we can look at the Indian experience and the role of the public sector in providing a unified infrastructure and standards for all parties participating in the financial sector, a living and successful model that can be followed. This experience can be summarized in the following points. 1. Providing a common infrastructure for the digital national ID and a digital national identification system that includes all citizens and residents in India. 2. Building effective and secure payment systems that meet all market requirements, such as the National Indian Payment Company, NPCI, to operate the payments and settlement systems, IMPS and UPI, to transfer money between banks through mobile phones, the NFS to facilitate the withdrawal of cash and card payments across all banks, and so on. 3. Issuing all the regulations and laws that regulate all payments and settlements, and allowing payment service providers to provide variety of digital payment services like prepaid payment instruments, card schemes, cross-border inbound money transfers, ATM networks, and so on. 4. Adopting the interoperability as a fundamental principle for digital payment services by establishing a common infrastructure and unified interfaces. 5. Automating government transactions and payments, which made the government one of the most important users of digital payment platforms, which contributed to improving government performance and facilitating its transactions. To benefit from this experience, here are the most important factors for its success. 1. Comprehensive vision and strategy of the government for the payment system. 2. Adopting digital financial inclusion and interoperability. 3. Providing the technical, legal, and regulatory infrastructure. 4. Strict government supervision of the payment environment. 5. Providing equal and fair opportunities for all financial service providers. 6. Providing digital financial services at low costs and reasonable profits to providers. Recommendations and suggestions. First, how can we implement the same in Yemen? 1. Government role and the efficiency of the public sector. Through 1. Unifying vision for all parties. 2. Establishing a strong infrastructure. 3. Rebuilding the financial sector and adopting digitization. 4. Building an environment that overcomes obstacles. 2. The desire of the private sector and incumbents financial service providers to participate. Through 1. Cooperation with the authorities in building a unified system. 2. Providing simple and effective digital solutions. 3. Supply response and interaction of new financial service providers. 1. Innovations and new services. 3. Raising the level of culture of use. Second, the Central Bank of Yemen's initiative to carry out comprehensive financial reform. 1. Reforming the financial and banking system. 1. Modernizing of the central bank's structure, management, and technologies. Enhancing its ability to supervise and monitor. 2. Updating regulations and licensing requirements for the banking sector, and allowing the participation of new components. 3. Improving the performance of banks through a comprehensive development plan in all fields. 4. Consolidating entities that fail to meet new requirements to improve their efficiency. 2. Building a national payment system. 1. Putting a comprehensive vision for the needs. 2. Exploring global examples and experiences with respect to the Yemeni context. 3. Identifying enabling factors and ensuring their availability. 4. Cooperation of all parties to participate. 5. Encouraging the contribution of all national professionals. 8. Observing the best practices and continuous development. 3. Implementing the 10 basic principles of the national payment system. 1. Security. The system secures the data and funds of everyone involved and meets the AML/CFT standards. 2. Convenience. The payment system enables users to access and use DFS services with ease. 3. Availability. The system delivers high-value, low-cost DFS services. It allows all users to enroll and exchange money with anyone. 5. Reliability. The system ensures that funds are available to all users and all service providers at all times. 6. Interoperability. The availability of the system to any financial services provider, and the possibility of exchanging funds between them. 7. Real-time. All payments are instant and irrevocable. 8. Governance. The payment system is managed and regulated by the government, and its financial authorities enable same-day settlement. 9. Cost and profitability. The payment system works on a no-loss or cost recovery plus investment basis. 10. A shared investment in other schemes and platform services. Third, the importance of the role of the government and private sector's agencies. 1. Encouraging the Higher Education, Technology, and Innovation Commission to contribute. 1. Employing information and communication technology in government and private sectors. 2. Developing services and facilitating access to them. 2. Building partnerships and attending conferences and training programs with specialized international research centers. 1. The Digital Frontiers Institute, DFI. 2. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, BMGF. 3. The Committee on Payment and Settlement Systems, CPSS. Finally, we would like to say that we're talking about a sovereign domain that the state and its regulators control. It is not a place for competition or monopoly by any stakeholder. It needs coordination and cooperation between all players and participants to build a payment ecosystem that is inclusive for all.